This is how the rich are able to evade taxes and are able to remain so rich and are able to use their money without even the government having to know the trail where the money is being used to do what or where the money is coming from. So most of the people don't want or don't like the government using their money, be it as taxes. Some of the governments which we give taxes and also our taxes are gotten from us, the money which they use for to do some of their projects. Some of their projects are illegitimate projects, and also the projects are not so well, and also some of them are just wasting money because they don't focus on the real issues, like some issues like the weather conditions, and the most important issue. Most of the governments are used to wasting money, and most of the governments are used and known for spending the money in other shady ways. And also this is can be a very painful thing for you, who a person who was able to look for the money through hard work and also sweat, for your money to just be used by the government anyhowly by high taxes where the government imposes on you. Because how can you be able to how can you be able to work for your own money and the government can be able just to take 30% or 35% of what you earn, when the government is just sitting there, nothing it has done. You have woken up, you have sweated day and night for the money you have. In the end of the day, the government is able to take your money and use the money into some ways which are not legitimate. Like there's one day where the government of US was able to fund a particular case where they wanted to know why do gorillas and also monkeys do not poo on themselves. So this is a study which took around $600,000. So you can just imagine this type of useless, and also some type of researches which are just, they are just useless, where they just waste money for no reason. So these are some of the reasons which make people not to put their money into the bank accounts and also want to evade taxes, because at the end of the day, what the government is profiting is a lot of money, and at the end of the day, people will use that money in shady businesses, and some of the people will just throw away the money with just projects which are not legitimate and projects which won't help the country. So today I'll be telling you how the government is able to how the citizens and also how the rich are able to remain rich by tax evading, some of the ways which they use to tax evade, and some of the ways which people can use to be able to tax and also to evade the taxes in a particular country. So one of the things which taxes and also companies in every part and different parts of the world, countries, what they do, they require you to register a particular company under your name. And registering a company, this will eventually lead to all the transactions and everything which is transacted inside that particular company. It is very visible for the IRS and also the tax people. So it is very hard for you to evade, or it is very easy for the IRS and also the tax systems and also the government to pinpoint the owner of that company and also try to charge him for tax evasion. So what the best reasons, and also some of the countries which they have shell companies, where a rich person can be able to create a shell company, where that shell company doesn't have any name of connecting you to the company, or it doesn't have any name to show that you are the one who is transacting into that bank account or the bank account of that company. So these shell companies are in some countries, and also some other countries they are not there, like the United States, they are not there. But there are some states in the United States where that particular shell companies are there. So one of the things is that the shell company is used by people and also rich people to own that shell company, where they'll have to do transactions on it. And this doing transactions with the shell company will at least help them to be at least opaque, and also nobody can be able to see how the transactions are gone, or they can be able to be pinpointed by the IRS and also the tax systems. So what basically, if a country like the United States and some other countries like England, some other countries where there is no this particular tax system, what they basically do, and also if there is no this shell, possibility of you being able to put a shell company in your country is very hard. What they do, they look for other countries which they can be able to put these shell companies, and there are some countries which offer these services, like countries like Nauru, which is the third smallest country in the world, and there are some other islands like the British Virgin Islands, and also there are Panama Islands, and also there are New Jersey Islands in the European Sea, and also these Bermuda Islands. These are the some of the countries which can be able and also can be used to put your money, and also try and put a shell company where they'll be able to protect your transactions, and also transactions cannot be able to be seen. And also, if you're looking for a particular country where you can put up a shell company, you have to consider some things in place, because if you don't consider the following things, it will be hectic for you, and also the penalties will come along the way for you, because these are the some of the important things which you need to consider when you putting up a shell company in a particular country. First of all, you need to assure yourself that that country has a stable economy. Then that country has rules and also laws which are able to prevent you and also prevent the IRS from knowing who is the owner and also who operates this particular company. I'll be telling you how some of the countries have these particular laws which prevent a person being pinpointed to you having and also owning that particular company, and it's a very brilliant way. Then the other thing which you have to look for are countries that they have low taxes, where there's some countries like there are countries like Malta country, where they're able to tax their citizens 35%, but if for foreigners they're able to tax them like 5%. So you can just imagine this difference and margin, and somebody is bringing billions of dollars into your country, but you just tax them 5%. So these are the some of the things which the rich people which are able to look for when they are looking for a country to put up a shell company. And also one thing is that the country has political stability. If the country is able to be succeeded by another president, then that president is able now to change the laws and say everybody who has been evading taxes or anybody who has been having shell companies in my country is now on seized, and the bank accounts are freezed, or they are able to tell the information to the FBI's or the IRS. This will be a problem for you. So you need a country which has stable political. Its politics are very stable, and you are sure that if the next president comes, it will just be the same trend. And one of the things how the rich people are able to know is that if a country is able to depend on that money which they are used for the shell companies, then that countries, the rich are able to be assured that no matter what happens, they will still need this money. So there's no way they can sell you out to other countries, because this is their main agenda and this is their main revenue source of revenues by this money which is generated by the billionaires and also millionaires who put their money into these shell companies in their country. So after looking for a country which has this but has laws which can allow you to put the shell companies, the second thing is now creating your own shell company. And also, when you're creating a shell company, there are some details which every company requires. And if there are some countries, the laws are different, and there are other countries which are different, like the country like the British Virgin Islands, where a person can be able to have a shell account and also a shell company. And if you create a shell company over there, what they usually do, for you to have a company, the company has to show the shareholders of that company, and the company has to show some particular documents which it's a must for every company in the world to have. So what these particular islands do is they create a particular shares which the person who holds those particular papers, their certificates of shares for that company, the person who holds that certificate is the owner of that company. So the on that certificate it doesn't have a name, but if anybody is able to have that certificate and also that certificate of shares which shows the company is yours, even if you give it to another person, they won't be able to ask. As long as he has been able to present them into that country, they'll justify that he is the owner of that company. So these are the some countries and also some of the ways which you can have a company and the owner of the company can be anonymous. So the second step is having directors, and having a director is it's not so very hard, and a director is a must. But a director doesn't link you directly to the company. What many people do is when they appoint directors, they can appoint directors inside that particular country. And after appointing directors inside that particular country, as long as it is not your back home country, like the United States, it's just fine, because if those directors operate in that country, you can just give them a small thing and also give them a small just amount of wage where they'll be able to cater for themselves. And after giving them, they're able to sign documents and they're able to be legally the directors of that particular company. So after creating that shell account and also that shell company, what now happens is creating a bank account for that shell company. And after creating a bank account for that shell company is now the that step which you have to do, which is transferring the amount, the money which are on your systems and also in your country to that different country, and also paying that particular shell account and in that particular country like the British Islands. So this happens when a shell account and also a shell company can you what you people usually do, they write fake invoices to that shell account and also that shell company, and after writing fake invoices, the shell, you have to pay the shell company those invoices, and those invoices are just fake works which you have just made up for the shell company had done for you, and you have just to pay them. And these are the some of the things which are not taxed. And if they're going to a different country, then the country has the responsibility. It's either they are able to tax them according to their laws. And if you see like a country like the British Virgin Islands or the Malta, where they are able to tax 5% for the type of money which is entering, then that is very favorable. So when the money is already in that particular bank account of that shell company, due to the fake invoices or some of the ways which other people can use is transporting the money into carriers. They give carriers to take the money into those countries, into those shell companies in those countries. And after taking them over there, they're able now to now siphon that money back to the United States or to the other countries like the European countries. And after siphoning that money back to their countries, they're able to use that money very freely. And some of the things which also the rich can do is they buy equipments and also buy luxury items like cars and also yachts by the which are owned by that shell company. And what the shell company does, they lease back to the you who is in a different part of the country at a very affordable price, like a yacht. They can lease to you a yacht for a single day at the price of a normal car. So these are some of the things when the IRS and also the tax people or the government try to question you. You say that these people are leasing to me a yacht at a very affordable price, and you don't have to have or pay anything for you to own a tax. Little do they know that you are the owner of that particular yacht, and that shell company which is leasing to you, you are the owner. So these are some of the ways which the rich use to keep track and also hide their tax on the how the money is moving around the country. And one of the things also, but this thing stopped around their mid 2000 and also 20s over 2010s over there, where those shell companies and also those shell accounts in those different countries used to offer bank accounts which had credit cards. So a person who is in the US can use this particular credit card, but the IRS and also the system in the United States were able to find out on this particular method, and they were able to lock out this particular method. So the methods which are left out is the how you can be able to buy these particular yachts, and also how you can be able to write in the shell companies writes for you invoices and you have to pay them. So these are some of the ways which you can keep clean and also keep your record clean. So, and when you're doing these particular things, you have to pretend that you are innocent, and you have to pretend like it is you are lucky because you've been given a yacht or a aeroplane, a jet with that particular price of that particular price. It's very low. So you just have to pretend you're lucky that this company likes you and this company is very cheap. So you also have to play your game very well. If not, the people will suspect, and also the government will suspect, and they'll have to scrutinize you and look at your accounts records. And if they find anything which is a little bit fishy, they'll have to jail you, and also they will have to take you to court. And this is not what you want. And other ways which these particular countries are not able to access what is inside these countries, because the countries have secrecy. But during the 2019 over there was a particular country like the Panama released the number of lists which the rich people have the Shell's account, and that list was around 20,000 accounts. And in those particular lists and also users, there was the king of Saudi Arabia, and also there are other presidents of the world. Like, I don't know very well, but there were other presidents of the world inside that particular list of shell companies inside Panama. So that's how the rich are able to stay and also keep clean of their records, and also are able to evade taxes using the shell companies. And I hope you like this video. Please watch out for the next video, and please subscribe to this channel, and please also give this video a thumbs up. And till we meet next time.